You are tuning in to Peaches and Power Bombs. How is everybody doing on this Thursday night? I am Sarah Hirsch. Over on my other side is my girl Tina Miller.
What's up?
So, how's everybody doing tonight? How are you doing, Tina?
I'm doing good. It's been a day, but
Yep, almost to the end of the week.
we're sorry, everybody. We're trying to get all of our stuff on the screen and everything and get ready. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Goodness gracious. We got some news. Ready to get into the news? Get the news out of the way before we talk about the Royal Rumble.
Yes. Y'all, I've been waiting to talk about this all week. And we finally get to in momentarily.
So this was crazy.
Yeah. So apparently, Shane McMahon has had heat with the way he booked the Royal Rumble, men's Royal Rumble match.
Mm-hmm.
And reports started surfacing, Monday or Tuesday, that he was quietly let go by the company.
He had a tiptoe out.
Yeah. If you leave quietly, you get your summer bonus from Dirty Dancing.
Shane says, hey Shane.
Hey Shane, how are you doing? Good to see you. Well, considering how the Rumble turned out, I just wonder who, what, when, and where. How did it go all wrong if Shane was just focusing on himself?
To me, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Because Shane has booked Rumbles before. It wasn't his first rodeo with the Royal Rumble. And it didn't look like it was centered around him. It just looked like it had no center at all. It was just a big bundle of random mess.
Now, Shane was a surprise.
Yeah.
And I was fine with that. And but yeah, I saw that and I was like, well, what done went on? And of course, you got people like Nia Jax, Braun Strowman, and FTR, all former WWE employees. And there's probably more too, but those are the three that I could think of.
Yeah.
They responded to the rumors. So I don't know.
I don't know either. I think maybe they just didn't like how it went, and there was such a bad reaction to it that they were going to put the blame on somebody. And it wasn't going to be Vince, and it wasn't going to be Bruce Pritchard, so it had to be somebody.
So basically, they probably threw Shane under the bus. I don't know.
Yeah, because Shane doesn't come off as a selfish, self-centered person.
No.
So him booking it around himself either came from someone who doesn't really know Shane all that well, or just read the situation wrong. That's how it came off as me.
Yeah. I know. And too, Shane is like majority of fans' favorite McMahon. So
oh yeah, by a long shot.
Yeah, I prefer Shane over Stephanie any day. Any day. It's like, why couldn't you let her go? No, seriously. I mean,
no, she's good at being that face on the charities and women's empowerment stuff and everything like that. So they're not going to let her go. I don't know. It is just crazy to me. We do have some comments real quick before we move on. Molly says, "You guys are amazing as always."
Thank you, Molly. Hi.
And Carlos says hello.
Hey, Carlos.
Shunty says he wasn't even in there for that long. He wasn't.
No, he wasn't. That's why. That's another thing. Like, he wasn't even in there that long. So it makes no sense. Just like how all their booking is mostly makes no sense.
And Shane says, "I will bet he got into it with Khan."
Yeah.
I honestly think this might be what happened. And someone said it on a podcast last night I was watching, that they think that this is what happened, that the backstage news, what backstage they were trying to build towards Seth Rollins versus Shane McMahon for WrestleMania. But everybody's been wanting to see more Austin Theory versus Shane McMahon because that story just writes itself. And I think they were saying that Shane was actually really behind that idea and really wanted to work with Austin Theory, and that they didn't want to hear it. So he might have been like maybe standing his ground a little bit and being like, no, this is what I want to do. And they didn't like that too much. So I don't know.
Yeah, because Shane McMahon and Austin Theory would sounds much more better. Makes more sense because, Austin Theory and Vince got all this stuff going on, and then you would have Shane that would come in and,
who do you
pretty much be the middle person.
Yeah. Who do you think you are taking my spot? I'm the son, not you. I mean, that took me, 2 seconds to say? So,
yeah.
I don't know. They're crazy.
Yeah, that's the big thing. So, I'm pretty sure over time more stuff's going to come out, and then who's to say?
All right. One more comment before we move on. Oh, you don't know what anything we're saying. Just said, yep. She doesn't watch wrestling, and she's just like, yeah.
She's like, I'm just going to go with y'all on this one.
Yep. Carlos says, you think Shane shows up in AEW like he did a long time ago in WCW back in the day? No, because that was not really him showing up in WCW. They had already bought the company by that point, and that was just a part of the angle.
Yeah, I seriously doubt that.
I stand
plot twist, but yeah,
knows Austin Theory because we used to go watch him.
In
Georgia. So, and Gary says, "Hey there, Sarah. Hope you're doing great this evening."
Hey, Gary, how's it going?
I'm chopped
Thank you for watching,
Sarah.
Huh?
I said I'm chopped liver compared to Sarah.
No,
I'm just kidding. Okay. Well, speaking of the Royal Rumble, we will break it down for everybody and talk about it match by match and give you our reactions to the whole thing. She won't like my reaction at the end, but, it's all good.
I said the Royal Rumble.
I won't have a chance to use that for another whole year, so I had to get it in one more time.
Well, if we do Royal Rumble predictions like in September, maybe,
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, that
really early Rumble predictions.
Doubt it.
No. We're lucky to get it out the week of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the show started off with a bang. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns.
That got an A from me.
Yeah.
But it went downhill from there.
Aww.
And when Roman came out first, I was like, something going down. And then when they played that, like, all my fangirl feelings came out. And I was just... and you know what? This is something that was like years in the making. I'm going to say it. Seth deserved that ass whooping. Ooh. I was right there with the tribal chief. Yes, he deserved it. Yes, you do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. That promo from Roman on that Friday before the Rumble was intense. It was emotional, and you're like, he felt like the baby face in that moment.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because the very next day it was like Seth felt like the baby face and Roman was like the heel again.
I know.
It was intense. And I enjoyed the match. And we have to talk about Seth's entrance. That was crazy. He comes out to the Shield music, comes out from the fans in the garb. The only thing I have is that he should have had the blonde streak.
Oh, I know, right?
That would have made me pop really big, but it was still great.
They really did well with the psychology from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from him coming out to the Shield and all that, and you know how Seth is just like annoying, and it got to the point where Roman just snapped on him and wouldn't release the guillotine on him. Yeah. He made me do it. He deserves it. I was like, yes, make him pay.
A lot of people are complaining about the ending. I think it's just because the match was so good, and then to end it on a DQ was just, everybody just went, oh, but we wanted to see a clean finish. And everybody wants to see a clean finish, but this made sense.
I like it.
Sorry, my country just came out.
It's kind of like when he was first did the heel thing, and like how he would do that like guillotine and wouldn't let go or whatever, and he talk all his trash during the match, and I'm like, oh Lord Jesus, they gonna kill me. Again.
Okay, we have a lot of comments. Thank you guys for tuning in and commenting.
Yes.
Gary said, this year's Rumble was truly heartbreaking for the fans in attendance. Yeah, I saw some people's reaction that were there, and they were just like this the whole time. Meaning the predictable outcomes with Ronda and Brock was downright crappy. Sorry,
we'll get
just
to
my
that.
Personal opinion. And Shane says, Seth ain't done with Roman. Seth was great wearing the Shield clothing. And Gary reiterates, said that he liked the Shield entrance and he enjoyed all of that match. And Shanti said, I think the match probably should have ended differently. And our friend Tim, who should be coming on here soon, says those two are incapable of having a bad match together. I agree. And our friend Shannon, who's always here, thank you. Seth and Roman were the best part of the Rumble. I agree with that.
I agree too. You know, you can't go wrong with Roman and Seth because their chemistry is just off the charts, whether they're cutting a promo against each other or if they're in the ring together. So, I mean, you already knew the match was going to be bomb no matter what. And
I'll throw this up there here really quick. Sorry. And Nature wasn't even watching the show because me and her daughter was watching it together and she wasn't even in the room. But, you know. We love you, Nitra. It's off good. Okay, what were you saying? I am so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But, I mean, you couldn't go wrong with it. Like I said, that match got an A from me. Yeah. And, you know, first match, especially with the Rumble, it sets the tone for the whole show. And, you know, it's kind of like that false hope because we all know how this ends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was all in my fangirl feel. I was feeling good. And, yeah, that didn't last long.
Yeah, and Shane is right. It's not over between
Seth
and Roman. There's going to be something that happens there. I was going to say for a split second, and then I remembered that he's in the Elimination Chamber. I was going to say it'll probably be Roman and Seth at the Elimination Chamber, but he's already in the Elimination Chamber for Monday Night Raw, so they're not going to make him do 2 matches for that. So I don't know if Roman would even be on the card for that, but
yeah, it's hard to say.
Speaking of the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble was next, and there's some things out of the 2. The Women's Rumble was better.
Yes,
but it still wasn't great.
I was kind of disappointed the lack of surprise entrance. I figured they would throw an NXT girl in there or two, and they didn't. No,
none. And that would have been easy. You could have had Raquel Gonzalez come in there and have
that would have been badass. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or Io Shirai or somebody like that, and they didn't use any of those girls down there.
I did pop for Right to Censor Ivory.
That was awesome.
Yes.
I was like 13 again.
Yes. Yeah, and I like that was kind of surreal seeing Mickie James come out in the hardcore country. I was like, man, I thought I'd never see that. But she did a good job too, and yeah. So, but she didn't do bad either. So.
No, there's some things that I said I have written down here. I said they had a lot of legends or former talent come in, but they didn't really get to actually do anything, or not all of them had a fun spot or anything like that. There were a lot of them were in and out. Sasha asked.
It's kind of like going through the motions. What now?
Sasha was the number one entrant, and she looked fabulous. I liked her Sailor Moon outfit.
Yes, Sailor Banks.
Sailor Banks.
I was actually really I really enjoyed seeing Melina. I was surprised by that. Now I will say that
she didn't last very long. When she came out,
that disappointed me.
Oh my goodness. Because we all knew that Mickie James was going to be in there from Impact, and Melina is signed with NWA. So I was like, oh my goodness, we got NWA and Impact girls in here. But Melina didn't last all that long. And that was a little disheartening, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, Sasha lasted a good while in there, and after she got eliminated, I knew for sure. I was like, I already knew, but I was like, after she got eliminated, I was like, yeah, it's Ronda. And sure enough, she came out, I think, at number 28. I was like, that's it.
Yeah, Shane said that it was great to see Mickie James come out to Hardcore Country and wearing the Impact title. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that they let her come out to Hardcore Country and not her WWE theme. But I guess she probably insisted on it. So
it is her song too, so why not?
It is her song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey making her triumphant return 4 months postpartum. That's why she entered so late, because she just can't. She can't go that long right now because she just had a baby. But the fact that she just had a baby 4 months ago and did what she did was remarkable, in my opinion. And that she's talking about having a match 6 to 7 months after having a baby. So
we kind of all knew this was coming, and that's the thing too. Her and Charlotte were the last two, so that set up for WrestleMania, I believe, and
right.
And basically they just wasted a spot for that. I didn't like that. I was like, Ronda and Charlotte WrestleMania, that's fine. But did y'all really have to do it in the Rumble where they could have did other stuff, epic stuff? Come on now. That was just lazy.
It was just it was an easy way to continue with that. And, at first glance, when I first saw the report of it being Charlotte and Ronda at WrestleMania, I was like, oh man, but the big money match is Ronda and Becky one-on-one. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, she's only so far out of having her son that I kind of want her to wait until she's fully healed to have that really big money epic match that everybody's been waiting for. Not to say that Charlotte doesn't deserve Ronda's best or anything, but you want to save that for a time when she can really get in there and wrestle a match. So they're probably going to wait for that for SummerSlam, is my thoughts.
Yeah, that would I could see that happening for SummerSlam.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on the women's Royal Rumble?
No, but it was nice to see Lita, and we are getting Lita versus Becky at Elimination Chamber. It's in Saudi Arabia. I think I'm excited for that match.
Yeah. I have that written down. Yeah. Elimination Chamber. Yeah, that's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that written down. We'll get to that in more detail here in just a minute. Real quick before moving on, Shannon, I'm sorry I missed your comment. The spot with Naomi saving herself was lackluster. I get where they were going with it, but it was just lazy booking. Yeah.
I like the fact, now with Cameron coming back, I like they used that to further Naomi and Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
Because once Sonya Deville found out that was her friend, that was it. Sonya was like, all right, jacket's coming off.
I thought it would have been really funny if they had Melina and Alicia Fox in the ring at the same time when Cameron came in and she was like fangirled all over the place.
I thought about that too. I was like,
I would have rolled.
Missed opportunity. What a shame.
I know, it's sad. Okay, hide the comment. Hide the comment. Hide the comment. Okay.
That's the way it goes today.
There it goes.
There we go.
Yeah. We're going to be looking at Shannon all night otherwise.
That's okay. Shannon's one of our regulars, so that's okay. Shannon can share the spotlight with us.
Sure. Okay, and what was next was Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, right?
I was happy. I was happy how it ended. And then it just dawned on me what was going to happen after this. So that didn't
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay, because the tribal chief is going to come for him and he's going to acknowledge him.
We have to do it.
You there, sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
We acknowledge
all
the tribal chief.
All day, every day.
I thought this was a really good match. I enjoyed it. I was a little worried about Bobby. I thought he was going to break his neck a couple times because he landed on his neck wrong like 3 times in some of those suplexes. But other than that, I liked this match. It was physical. It was good. I want to see it again at some point.
I think we will.
Of course, the ending was great with, the.
We all knew this. We all knew this. Yeah. Paul Heyman was going to turn on Brock Lesnar,
but it's still so much fun to watch it when it's actually happening. So Roman interfering, and then he's like, "Give me the title," and of course. Paul plays it for a second, and then he goes, "There you go. Get him, tribal chief."
There you go, my tribal chief. You hit him with the belt, my tribal chief. You did so well, my tribal chief.
Yeah, he does say tribal chief after every sentence, doesn't he?
My tribal chief. Yeah, that I enjoyed that, and you notice Bobby took the title and just like made a run for him at
MVP. He's like, I ain't sticking around. This is done now.
All right, I got what I want. We gone. Bye.
See ya. But yeah, it just furthers the story to WrestleMania, and I just love Paul Heyman to death. Real quick comments. Who is that? Nitra, I think we were talking about. She's probably wondering who is Bobby Lashley. I'll tell you about that later, okay? Ron says, "Hey guys."
Hi.
Carlos says, "Brock will eventually get his hands on Paul Heyman, and it's going to be great. I'm going to enjoy every second of it." And Ron says, "Acknowledge him." Yes. So, good match all around. Good story building. Well executed.
I'll go ahead and say that my mom was watching this with me. Mm-hmm. She kind of knows some of them because my brother and I and Alex talk about it a lot. Yeah. At one point, she was looking at Roman and she goes, God, he's so fun. Girl. Stop.
Oh, man, it's so funny. My mom does the same thing. When Randy Orton comes out, she's like, ooh, that's a good-looking man right there.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman
I mean,
Adam
I know
Page,
you can't help it, but...
She says it about Hangman Adam Page, too. And this one surprised me. She thinks Montez Ford is the cutest, most adorable thing on the planet. I love it.
Hey, his charisma is what makes it. I mean... Yeah.
Shane said, Nitra, you know who Brock Lesnar is. Shane says, you know what is going to happen at Mania? It'll be a 3-way with Lesnar, Reigns, and Seth, and Heyman will turn on Reigns, and Lesnar will be with Seth.
I thought about that.
I don't know. I don't know if they would have Heyman turn on Roman Reigns after turning on Brock. So, like that. I don't know. I haven't heard that. That would be interesting.
They could do a lot with it. Not that they would, but I definitely thought about that, triple threat match. Because, Seth can win the Elimination Chamber for all we know, and he'll say, I want to do this, or...
Yeah. Lesnar will be with Seth. Oh, okay. I see what he's saying. He's saying that Seth and Heyman... I don't understand what he's trying to say right there. But that's okay. Shannon says, I'm thinking she's talking about Montez Ford, that he brings the swag like nobody else. That's
he does.
It's great. Okay, moving on. We had for the Raw Women's Championship, Doudrop versus Becky Lynch. This was my popcorn and spill up my sweet tea match. And apparently in the audience, half of them didn't get to see this match because the WrestleMania sign was on fire.
Yes.
And they were evacuated.
Oh, Becky. She's like, I'm so hot, I set the sign on fire.
Yeah. Ronda Rousey, pointed so hard it caught fire. Something. It was funny. Yeah. I don't know. I had a hard time getting into this match.
I did
and there too. It's not that they didn't do anything. I think it was just like an energy thing. You have times where your energy's up here, and then you have times where it's down here. And, the match that you're least looking forward to, not that they did anything wrong or anything, it's just that everybody has a match like that. And this was it for me. So I missed like half of it because I was getting food. So I saw the end, though, and it was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Doudrop got some good offense in, but, Becky finds a way.
Yeah, she always does. I don't think she cheated to win this time, so that's
No,
something.
she didn't.
Oh, Shane says that Seth and Heyman will be together.
It'll be different.
You tasting it all, huh? You going after one after another.
What a hoe.
Yeah, Ron says when we know how it's going to go, it's hard to get excited for it. I think it depends on how well the story is being told and how much excitement is already in it. I mean, everyone knew that Becky Lynch was going to win both titles at WrestleMania a couple years ago, but we were all still really excited about it because they did a good job telling the story. And this was just there. So I think that was there's a difference. Okay. Oh, we got one more before the main event. Miz and Maurice versus Beth Phoenix and Edge. This was a lot more fun than I expected it to be.
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
Maurice looked great. Beth Phoenix looked like a beast. I was scared of her. She looked like she could eat me for breakfast. It was great. And of course, Miz is up to his usual shenanigans, and Edge is Edge, and you just love everybody in this match. I had a good time.
Yeah, that was a fun match. I'd like to see them tag again, him and Beth.
Yeah.
I hope that's not over.
Yeah. Less time to build a story. Yeah, good match. Beth and Edge obviously got the win, as it should be. I think that's it on that.
Shout out to Beth for the Luna Vachon tribute.
That was cool. That was real cool. On to the main event, the Men's Royal Rumble. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this!
That makes me laugh every time. He sounds so silly when he's like... Oh, man. Okay. So it started off with AJ Styles as number 1, and I was like, oh, well, he ain't winning because they're not going to have someone win at number 1 two years in a row.
No.
But at least maybe he'll probably...
Number 1 was AJ Styles. Number 2 was Shinsuke Nakamura, which had me all in my New Japan feels. So I was like,
yeah.
Ah!
And Shinsuke had just been cleared like 2 days earlier.
I didn't even know he was hurt.
He had a hand injury. That's why he hasn't been wrestling.
Okay.
And there's some things I'd like to say. It was a little on the underwhelming side. There wasn't just many really exciting moments in this match. Poor Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen sooner than later. You try something that's really risky. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's nobody's fault. He didn't do anything wrong. It just happens.
It's not invincible. I hated that for him, though, but yeah. So
Ron said that Shinsuke had a broken knuckle. And I don't know if she remembers, but she has met AJ Styles.
Ooh, that Georgia accent just hits you.
I know. What's this? I was like, is that Gainesville accent?
We love AJ Styles here on
Yes,
Beaches
we
and
do.
Power Bombs.
And Issa got to interview him this past week.
I saw that.
And she got to ask him what hair care he used. And he said it was a secret.
A secret?
You know what it is? He probably uses that Dove men, shampoo and conditioner and body wash.
Maybe
combo.
Pantene. Yeah. Or Pantene or something.
And he just, towel dries it and goes off. That's his secret. Because dudes don't do nothing to their hair.
I feel a sneeze coming on, so if I'm doing this, just bear with me.
AJ, one of the most disappointing parts of the Royal Rumble for me was AJ Styles getting eliminated by Madcap Moss of all people.
Yeah.
That just took the wind right out of my sails. I was like, Randy Orton couldn't eliminate him? Somebody a little more on the food chain than Madcap Moss? Really?
I'd have felt better if Montez Ford eliminated him. We love Montez.
Somebody. Oh, everybody stop. We have Friend Zone Landon in the...
Hey, Landon.
Hello.
Georgia accent. You already know. You got one too. Georgia accent. You got one too, homeboy.
He's gonna go, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get off of here.
Y'all
Anyway,
crazy. No.
probably
Nice
my
to see you,
favorite-
Landon. I'll respond
Yes.
to your text later. Been busy.
My favorite part of the Men's Royal Rumble was probably Bad Bunny. And he's not a wrestler. That's sad.
Yeah, I know.
And that's not a knock on Bad Bunny because he's great, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But
I enjoyed him. I always do because he he likes to do it, and he likes to do it, and it's not like he's winning a world title or anything,
no.
So, and he works at it. So, I mean,
He
is he
does.
best? No, but he does pretty good for what he could do.
I know. Well, he only had training for like what, a few months or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's a very avid wrestling fan. He loves wrestling. So he really put his heart, mind, and soul into training for last year's WrestleMania, and of course probably the Royal Rumble as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he sells really well.
Mm-hmm.
He does a good job.
Yeah, Alec, my nephew Alex, he was sitting there telling me, yeah, when they did the Canadian Destroyer, John Morrison did all that. I said, well, it takes two to pull it off. He did his part. I said, so what if John Morrison did most of the work? Bad Bunny did his part and he sold it.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. His feet still have to be in the right position and he has to land just right. So, yeah.
A Canadian Destroyer, that's really, really risky. One wrong move, that's it.
Yeah. So they just didn't do a really good job of trying to build any WrestleMania stories out of this Rumble. They could have easily done something, maybe started something between Dominic and Rey Mysterio or whatever, but they didn't do
I don't think they were in the ring at the same time.
No, Dominic came out early and Rey came out a lot later. Mm-hmm. And then the ending. We'll talk about the ending.
I was talking to my brother yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, Tuesday. And he was telling me, he said, pretty much on the pre-show, they tipped it off that Brock was going to win because even Booker T said, I think Brock's going to win the Rumble. And that was meant to be a surprise. I mean, surprise, because everybody saw it coming 3,000 miles away.
Well, I knew that if Seth won, that Roman was going to be in the Rumble, and if Bobby won, Brock was going to be in the Rumble. And
I feel like too, what happened in Brock and Bobby's match, that wrote itself for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I know.
You didn't have to throw him in the Rumble, and he was going to win. Everybody knew that, and I don't have a problem with Lesnar versus Reigns. They shouldn't have did it through the Rumble. It's kind of like how they did the Women's Rumble with Charlotte and Ronda. You could have gave that to somebody else. And there was like something that came out that said Riddle was actually the original winner.
That was came out to be not true. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I would have liked that. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, see, I would have liked that a lot better, but yeah.
Everybody knows I'm a huge Brock Lesnar fan, okay? I love him. I like to see him win. I like to see him come out and be involved in things and everything like that. I don't think that he needed the Rumble, okay? Because he's Brock Lesnar. He can just show up and say, I want that, and they're going to give it to him. So I do think that they wasted the Rumble. I think, honestly, what happened is that they just didn't have anybody else built well enough to win the Royal Rumble. So where are they going to go? They're going to go to the well that always has the water, right? And that's the well of Brock Lesnar. He will save them every time. But
that's such good shit, pal.
They need to realize that Brock Lesnar is going to be 45 years old this year, He's not going to be Ric Flair and do this in his 50s. So they need to figure out some of these younger guys and get them built up, because they can't rely on the Brock train forever. And that's coming from a huge Brock fan. Now, saying all that, I knew everybody was going to be ticked off at this, and I was laughing because I thought it was funny.
When Brock came out, like I said, my mother was watching the Rumble with me. I had told her, I said, Brock's going to come out. I already know this. He's going to win. Sure enough, as soon as this music hit, I cut it off. Mom's like, you're not going to watch the rest of us? I said, hell no. I already know what's going to happen.
I was on my stomach and laying back like this and just bellowing, laughing, because I knew, I was like, they're going to be so mad.
You were probably like, Sarah's going to text me in 5, 4, 3.
Yep.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, Shane, we'll get into that in just a second. Yes, Nitra, I like Brock. Oh, Landon says, hola, como estás? You already know. Yeah, I know. Okay? I'm looking at you. I know. Shane says, did y'all hear how WWE is doing the Hall of Fame ceremony this year? It will be after a SmackDown show. We're going to talk about this, Shane, so this gives us a good segue into that. So Sarah was telling me all about this before the...
Yeah, so apparently at the WrestleMania 38 Go Home edition of SmackDown, they're going to do the WWE Hall of Fame right after the show. So after from 10 to 12, who knows? That's going to be a long night for those people. Nothing against the Hall of Famers.
No.
You know, I mean, when I went to the one WrestleMania 30, it was like I enjoy listening to their stories and stuff because they have a lot of good stories, and you want to pay your respects. But sometimes they go on too long, and it's like, dude, I got to be up at 7 a.m. I'm going to Access at 8. I don't want to look dead when I see Roman or so, So
Mr. T talk about his mama for
45 minutes. God. He could have just did that for like 2 minutes and it would have been fine, but he went on and on and on. I'm like, dude, what? Mm-hmm. Girl, oh Lord. It's like, nothing against the Hall of Fame, but it's like, I'm not trying to hear all that. Especially that. I mean, I enjoyed Lita's speech. I enjoyed Jake Roberts' speech. Ultimate Warrior went a little too long, but considering the aftermath, it was fine, So yeah, but there's nothing against the Hall of Fame, but why are you going to do that to them? They deserve the stage, and you're going to have a good portion of the arena leaving beforehand, and that's not cool.
No,
to me.
And because of him, they do have a time limit now.
Yeah.
Shannon, no one has been announced officially for the Hall of Fame yet. It was weird because they usually announce the headliner at the Royal Rumble event, and they did not do that.
They probably don't have one. That's why.
But it's so crazy. They could do one very easily. They could have it be the Undertaker.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna say no.
Mm-mm. And it's in Dallas, so
I'm picking two, Landon. Yeah, it's in Dallas, so it'd be easy for him to go.
Yeah. And as he should. I mean, but that's totally up to Vince and whoever he's calling. With that, speaking of Hall of Fame, y'all, Jeff Hardy got a lawsuit on his hands if he really wanted to pursue it. Jeff, everybody knows Jeff was released by WWE because he refused to do a drug test. And Anyway, he did one anyway, I guess. And his results were negative. So WWE let him go on false pretenses. And to make up for it, they called him, offering him a spot in the Hall of Fame, among some other stuff. And of course, he said no. I would have said no too. But like, y'all let me go. Y'all fired me over that? No.
Yeah. Nia Jax said no to a Rumble appearance as well.
Yes, y'all could check that out. If y'all look it up online, she had a lot of F-bombs in there. So, out of respect for Tina, we're not going to repeat.
I appreciate that.
Repeat that, but yeah, Nia had a lot to say, and Nia is being a straight savage. I was like, I love it. She's calling them out on their BS, literally, and I love it. I'm 100% here for it because I'm like, ooh, yes, tell me more. Let me sip some tea on it. What am I do?
Yep. And Shannon's saying that the Iconics said no as well, and she doesn't blame him. I don't either. And Ron is bringing up brings up a good point, because in a lawsuit that they could say that this was the reason why that they fired him and not the drug thing. Is that he's an independent contractor. He walked out on a match during the match and didn't say anything to anyone, but a lawsuit, I highly doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So
I dealt with a situation like that yesterday, so yeah. That is true.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to briefly touch the 2 matches already announced for Elimination Chamber, and then we're going to get into some AEW news.
Yes.
2 matches are already set. We already talked about one, which was Becky Lynch versus Lita for the Raw Women's Championship. That'll be great. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Charlotte got Trish, so it's only fair that Becky gets Lita.
Mm-hmm.
The Elimination Chamber match is already set for, and all the participants have been announced. Bobby Lashley, of course, because he's WWE champion. It is for the title. And Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, Riddle, and AJ Styles. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
There's not a bad wrestler in that match.
I'm just trying to think.
Just kidding. I'm picking.
I'm just I'm wondering how the fallout of that would go.
I know they keep teasing this title versus title, but I don't really see them going that way.
I don't think that's a good idea. That's why I'm just like, okay, how is this going to go down? I think Roman will interfere in this match because Seth and Brock are both in it. So I could see Roman finding a way to maybe cause a distraction. I won't say interfere. Yeah, you never know, but he could cause a distraction enough to. Yeah.
I'd honestly like to see AJ Styles win the title and then defend it against Edge at WrestleMania. But that might just be my little fangirl inside of me.
Yes.
Hoping and wishing and praying for something. But, I don't know. They don't ever like to do.
No, we can't have nice things.
Carlos
Royal Rumble was an example of why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. Carlos says that Lita can't win. That means she would have to be a full-time.
Not always.
She's not. No.
They did it with Brock.
Yeah. Shanti wants AJ to win. That's my girl. It's going to come down to Brock and Bobby. Hopefully, Brock wins and challenges Roman. We get one world title, please. I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. And he says, okay, Tina, that idea is great. Shane says that it would have been better if they replaced Riddle with Randy Orton. I'm just not a fan of Riddle. Riddle's grown on me because I could not stand him before. And then all this RK Bro stuff. Except for lately. Because with the whole academic challenges garbage, I really hated that. But the RK Bro stuff before, when they had the titles and stuff.
Riddle by himself, I don't care for, but RKO, I just think it's absolute gold.
Yes, and I'm going to talk about this really fast. It'll take 5 seconds. Somebody finally got the memo that Riddle was barefoot and they can stomp on his toes. Kevin Owens, thank you. Thank you for finally realizing that. Ooh. It's like, to beat that dude, all you have to do is step on his feet and he's down.
Yeah. But what if his feet stunk, though? And that's why nobody did the howler.
Well, everybody's feet stink, so, you know. Maybe he's got foot fungus or something and they don't want to go there. Okay, we're going to move on to some AEW topics before we log off. We don't want to take too much of everybody's time. We probably won't get into all of this, so we'll pick and choose what's okay. The big stuff happening in AEW, some of the happened yesterday. They announced on Tuesday night that Brian Kendrick was going to have a match with Jon Moxley. And then apparently that morning some videos went viral of Brian Kendrick back in 2011 with some really bad takes on stuff, Holocaust things, aliens, crazy, just out of your mind, stupid, crazy anti-Semitic stuff. And so Tony Khan pulled the plug. I'm glad he did, but
yeah, you don't want that kind of negativity.
I think it's a little weird though, because that video came out in 2011 and then Brian Kendrick was signed to WWE in 2016 and he was there all the way until probably about last month, I think. And no one said anything in all of that time. And if it were me and I knew all that information, I would have released it ages ago and been like, this dude needs to go away. But, you know, yeah, I wouldn't have messed with that either.
Yeah, you don't want to.
So that was some news that broke yesterday. And now we're going to go ahead and talk about this match just so we have enough time to.
Yes.
The match of all matches. The moment of all moments. The storyline of storylines in the past couple years.
Girl, thank you.
Mina is showing herself, everybody. Like always.
Pet mom things. Y'all should have seen it before we came on here. I was eating, just scarfing down a quick bite, and Mina was like all in the space here.
It's funny too, because Sarah had to walk away for a second, and like I was talking to Mina, hi Mina, and you would see her little head pop up and be like, who said that? Shannon thinks your cat is beautiful.
Thank you. When she wants to be.
Everybody has their moments. Mina's no different. So, the match of all matches, the moment of all moments, the storyline of all storylines for the past year to 2 years, MJF versus CM Punk finally happened last night. 45 minutes long. And I enjoyed every second of it.
Yes. False finish and all.
Yeah. I liked it because it threw an unpredictable spin on it. Because at first I thought MJF is going to win. He's going to be a little sneaky weasel dude like he always is, and he's going to win. But when he did his little sneaky weasel thing, and they're like, okay, he won, and then they rolled it back. I thought, are they going to have CM Punk win here at the end? And then it said MJF can claim that he won first, and that, and just continue it. So I thought, CM Punk might win the overall match, but actually it was MJF. And now he's going to be insufferable because he's going to say that he beat CM Punk.
He's got bragging rights. Yep, CM Punk was handed his first loss in AEW.
Yep.
First time he has been pinned in 8 years. But I think it was the right call, and it was in Chicago too. You want MJF to be the super heel? That was the way to go. I was like, Chicago's a smart crowd too. I was like, they won't. They'll be mad at MJF, but they're not going to kill him. I hope not. Anyway,
I don't know. They love their CM Punk.
Yeah.
They love their CM Punk. They might kill somebody over that. I don't know. They the crime capital of the world. You never know.
Yeah. So.
Shane throwing the shade. I was disappointed in the Punk versus MJF match. It just didn't live up to the action like Hangman Page and Danielson or Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole. Yeah, but it was a different match and it was with different people. So I wasn't expecting all of the just outright crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And if what I was reading is what they're going to do, then it makes sense that it wasn't too. I've heard that they might do MJF and Punk again at Revolution with in a dog collar match. So that's where you would get all of your physicality if they did that, because they're going to have to up the ante, right? Because it's match number 2.
Yeah, that's definitely not over between them.
No, absolutely not.
I think they'll have a lot more to give. And they'll bring, like you said, they'll bring something different to the table.
Yeah, and Wardlow coming out there with a little teasy tease again. I didn't notice this until I watched it back earlier today, is that Wardlow actually tossed the diamond ring to MJF, and you couldn't see that because it happened like that. I didn't see it until I watched it again. I was like, oh, and then MJF tossed it back to him too, so the ref wouldn't find it later either. That was a good little touch. And Wardlow will turn on MJF at some point, but I think that they're still teasing it for a couple more weeks until we get to Revolution.
I would say en route the Double or Nothing could be the start maybe. But, they might save it for All Out. You never know. Yeah, they like to drag it out. So I can see something like that happening, like at Revolution or Double or Nothing, and then it just does it All Out.
I think if they drug it out that far, I think that would be too long. I think something could happen at Revolution, and then they could have a short program together up to Double or Nothing, and then you start taking MJF and putting him in the world title picture.
Yeah, they could do that too.
Yeah, that's how I would book it. I don't know. I'm not in the wrestling business. I don't know how everything works. I just like to watch it and talk about it. So Shannon says, who better than MJF to give Punk his first loss? Absolutely. Great match. The right man won. Absolutely.
And I was saying too, like a while back, there's too many of them that's got undefeated streaks, and they're bragging about it too. And I was just like, okay, now somebody has got to lose.
Adam Cole technically still has an undefeated streak too.
Yeah, because you don't count him and Orange Cassidy.
Nope, because it was lights out.
Speaking of Orange Cassidy, I am not surprised that Danhausen is with Best Friends. That whole little faction there. I was like,
I'm not either.
I say, yeah, they're kind of they're kind of different. It's almost like the oddities, you know. They're different. Yeah, Danhausen fits right in.
Yeah, I think it's just enough time for his leg to heal because he still can't wrestle right now. Yeah. But I don't think he should be with them forever. I think he's a huge personality. And I don't think he needs to be a follower.
No.
He's going to make them some money. He has the most viewed video on AEW's YouTube channel. And his merchandise is the #1 bestseller. So he's gonna make them some money. I hope they realize that.
Yeah, I think they do. That's why they signed. That's why they went ahead and signed him. Ooh, let's get him. Yes, very elite, very evil. Yeah, my friend J Rob responded to somebody's post on Facebook. I was like, he reminds me of you. He liked it.
Yeah,
I'm sure he took that as a wonderful compliment.
Carlos, it's just storyline. Wardlow is signed with AEW. It's just the story that he's MJF's hired help. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we'll go ahead and talk about this, and then we'll hang it up for the night and let everybody go. But Hangman Adam Page will be defending the AEW World Title next week in a Texas Death Match versus Lance Archer next week.
That's gonna be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be good. I'm trying to find the right word for it. It's gonna be a war. Let's say that.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to watch it just because I can't stomach death matches. But
I understand that.
They're a little too much for me. I start bawling because I'm such an empath and I like feel, and I know it's all part of the show and stuff and no one's actually dying or anything, but I can't watch scary movies or violent movies either. So
yeah, I don't do scary movies either. No. So, I think Lance Archer's going to give Hangman Page a run for his money. I don't see Hangman Page. Bleh, start that over. Hangman Page. I don't see him losing, but no. I do see Lance Archer coming out a bigger star.
I hope so.
Yeah, because I feel like it's kind of he's been weaving in and out, not so much lost, but he's been kind of weaving in and out. You know, it's time for him to go to that next level, and I'm hoping that's what this match does for him.
I knew he had to take some time because I think he had a concussion scare in that match with Eddie Kingston in the elimination tournament. But so I knew he had to take some time for that. But other than that, they really haven't done. You know, even before that, they hadn't done too much with him. And I know part of that was because Jake Roberts has COPD and he's up and down with his condition.
Yeah.
But that's probably why Dan Lambert.
We are an hour and 3 minutes into this podcast, and we just mentioned Eddie Kingston.
Oh my goodness. I have to have an Eddie Kingston clip soon.
Yes.
I need to make one. Probably one where he says, "Fight me."
Yeah. We have the controversial corner. God, I can't even say nothing. Yes. We love some Eddie Kingston here.
Yes, we do. And speaking of which, we will talk about this too really quick. Is that Chris Jericho is still mentioning Eddie Kingston and saying, Santana Ortiz, what did you do last week? Is it because of Eddie Kingston? Just because he was your friend over in La La Land over there? What about the inner circle, man? I want answers right now. So they are going.
Oh yeah, they're having a meeting next week. Yeah.
Eddie Kingston is only supposed to be out for 4 weeks, and the 4th week is next week. So we will see if someone crashes the party.
Ooh. Sounds like gonna be a good show next week. I'm excited for that. Raw? What's happening on Raw next week? I don't know. I haven't watched Raw in weeks. Like 3 weeks now. I'm on a Raw break.
I watched Brock Lesnar and Becky Lynch, and then I turned
it off. RK Bro.
Yeah.
AJ.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch RK Bro this week because the whole academic stuff was getting.
Someone texted me the other day and they're like, I'm tapping out of Raw. I was like, damn, I forgot I was on. I was watching gymnastics. It's gymnastics season this way. So I gotta pay attention to my gymnastics girls.
Real quick, we'll go through these last comments and then we will say goodnight. Ron says, I bet on your boy Eddie Kingston. I bet a fellow podcast group a cigar. I'm betting he wins the world title within 2 years. Okay, we're friends again. I know, you have your little comments about MJF, and I'm like, I don't know about you, Sate. And then he says something like this, and I like him again, and he becomes my friend. Shannon says, been fun as always. Have a good week. You too.
You too. Thank you.
And Carla says they will probably break up and Jericho goes back on tour.
I could see that happening.
Well,
I don't want it, but
Jericho and Eddie Kingston has to fight at Revolution first. Okay? Eddie Kingston needs a match that I see live.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, because he stood us up at our Dynamite. Well, with the exception.
All right, everybody. That is our show for tonight. And we will see y'all in the future.
Thank you for tuning in, hanging out with us. We always enjoy it. And we will see you soon.
All right.